Hello and welcome to the Legenders of Fighters Empty Pack Edition. This is a unique Ikemen GO screen pack that I have been working for almost 6 to 7 months, and this specific screen pack lets you build your own roster, whether it's your favorite characters, custom stages, or even your own personal music tracks. This is a perfect pack for people who want to create their own custom rosters, stages from scratch, giving you the freedom to create your own fighting game experience. This screen pack is a nightly built version of Ikemen GO, which is using some cutting edge technology, which means yes, you might gonna bump into a few bugs or glitches during gameplay, but no worries, the team is constantly updating the engine to make things smoother over time, and when they release the patch, I will update the screen pack whenever the time is right. This empty pack edition will also have different range of roster size available during the release of the screen pack, whether you want a compact roster or a very massive roster for people who likes to mash everything into one place. There is a 12 slots, 24 slots, 45, 90, 180 and 360 slots as well. There is a version for everyone, so pick one whichever you like it. I'm also going to push these numbers to get even higher as well in the future, so like somewhere around like what, 500 slots or even 1000 slots, but at the moment right now this is not the right time to do it for me. I'll announce the 500 or 1000 slots or probably even bigger version as well in my website, so try to not miss out and keep an eye out. In this first release, I am going to release a custom portrait version where every character gets a unique portrait designed by you, and later on I'm going to roll out a standard portrait version as well, where it's just plug and play game without an extra tricks, so you don't have to worry about changing portraits or design a custom portrait for your characters. This version is perfect for people who just want to start having fun, jump in straight away and just completely demolish their opponents. If this version is for you, you might have to wait for a while, a little bit. Again, keep an eye on my website, which I'll be announcing from there. So stick around until the end of the video. I'll be walking through a quick tutorial on how to create a custom portrait for your characters using Krita and Fight You Factory 3, which is a master of that program. However, if you prefer other tools like Photoshop or Gimpo or Photopea, that's absolutely fine. What I'm going to do is during the release, I'm going to provide a PNG picture, which is basically like a border, in a designated folder where you can able to add the PNG border in your photo editing preference, stick a portrait of your character, apply in the Fighting Factory 3 program, and you are good to go. I also forgot to say as well, stage portraits as well for selecting stages, so I'll be teaching you that how to add a custom portrait as well for your stages. Now before we do a quick tutorial, there are 4 modules that will be active during your gameplay, which is the dash cancel, shadow assist, active tag and live input display, or aka stick, and these modules works fantastic and it works very well together in my opinion, and these are made by POTS and Horse, sorry if I got the name wrong, which adds a whole new layer of dynamic experience to your fighting game. If you have seen my last video of me just having testing and messing around, wow, what a mess, but it was fun, not gonna lie. Now to make your life easier and super easy to follow, I have divided this video into chapters. You can skip to the parts that you're most interested in, whether that's a deep dive on how to make a custom portrait, exploring the main menu, or have a look-see at the modules. So first up, I'm going to take you through the main menu and show you the first steps to get started with the Legenders of Fighters empty pack. Whether you're here to customize every detail or just straight into the action, there is something here for everyone. However, it is absolutely recommended to go through the option first and change your keybinds, which I'm going to do it right away when we start this chapter. Okay, wow, that's a lot of talking. Let's do this. Okay, let's get started and quickly guide you through how to move around the menu. To move around the menu, you'll have to use the WASD keys. To confirm your selection, you can just press the R, T, Y, F, G, H, any of those work. And if you want to go back to the menu, just press E or the escape button. Now, from the main menu, head over to the config menu, From there, go to input settings and then select key config. Here, you can able to rebind in any keys however you like, whether that's for movement, attacks, or anything else. If you're using a fight stick or a controller, make sure to check out the joystick config section. It works great for arcade setups. And also don't forget, if you're planning to play with a friend or with multiple people, go ahead and set up the controls for the player 2, player 3, player 4 as well. Once you're happy with your setup, make sure to back out to the main config screen and then press save and return. This part is very super important. If you skip this step, your custom controls or custom setup won't be saved, and you'll have to do it all over again the next time you open the game. So don't forget to get that final save. There are multiple modes you can play in the Screenpack or in any Ikemen GO build. Here's a quick guide to help you get started. There's an arcade mode, which is a story-based mode. Play with a solo, with a team, or up to 4 player with co-op versus bots. There's an angel versus demon mode. This is basically a player versus player mode. You can able to play as 1v1, you can able to team up, or you can play with the players only team or do a quick match versus bots. I am not going to cover online mode as it requires an extra setup, but a separate video tutorial is coming soon when I've got the time. Practice mode is where you can able to freely train with any characters. Mission mode, so you can able to play as a solo or a collab endurance to survive as long as you can before you get knocked out, or time attack, which you have to race against the clock on beating the enemy faster and win the round. And finally, spectator mode. You can able to watch versus bots or use random tests to watch random fights, and history shows the saved online matches replays that you have done previously. And lastly, config mode, where you can able to tweak your gameplay, audio, visuals, and more. Okay, now that you know what these modes do, pick one that you like to play, and let me show you how you can select your character and set up your team on the versus screen. This is the selection screen where the hype begins. This is the place where you and your friends or rivals can pick your character before jumping into battles. Now, depending on what mode you play, you'll get to choose from 4 different team types, plus an extra one for those who like a challenge. Here's a quick breakdown. Lone Wolf is just you and your chosen fighter, no teams, no backup, just a straight up duel. This is perfect for quick matches or 1v1 tournaments. Team Cruiser, you can have to select up to 4 fighters that will fight together at once. It's very chaotic, it's very fast, and it's great for players who love non-stop action. Tactic Tags lets you tag in and tag out your fighters during the match. You can able to build a team up to 2 to 4 people and swap a mid-game to keep your strategy tight, or you can do some sick-ass combos. Party turns, this one plays out like a turn-based brawl. When one of your fighters goes down, the next one ultimately steps in for the next round. You can stack up to 4 characters and see who survives the longest. Ratio mode is very useful if you feel like you want to balance the match. It lets you assign power levels ratio to your fighters. You can able to handicap yourself or crank up the power if you need that extra edge and extra power to defeat your opponents. Now, there is something important for setting up some matches, multiplayer, or local, whatever. The Angel team is assigned to a player 1, player 3, player 5, and player 7. And the Demon team is assigned to player 2, player 4, player 6, and player 8. So if you're setting up controls or configuring inputs for each player, keep this team mapping in mind to avoid any confusion. This helps organize the matchups and keep things clean throughout the entire game. Now that you picked what kind of team you want to play, let's jump into the match. I'll show you the modules that will be active during gameplay and how you can use each one of them to your advantage to crush your opponents like an absolute pro. Okay, first off, let's start simple. The live input display. You'll see it on the side of the screen, which is also on the other side as well for player 1 and player 2, showing exactly what direction and buttons you are pressing in real time. Super handy for when you're practicing moves or teaching someone how to play. Instead of looking at your joystick or controller, just glance at this. Perfect for training or recording tutorials. If you want to toggle it off and on, just press the start plus D or W key depending on how you set up your keys. Next up, dash cancel. This is super useful if your character has a long recovery animation after an attack. You know, those moments where you're just standing there, it's like, oh crap. By double tapping forward, you can able to cancel out of the recovery and go straight into another move. It's a great way to change combos and maximum your damage output. Practice this a little bit and you start seeing a huge improvement in your combos. Oh, you must have to hit your opponent in order to dash cancel, so keep in mind of that. Now here's where things get a little bit more spicy. Shadow assistant. Think of it like having a clone version of yourself attacking alongside with you. Here how it works. You have to hold any punch or kick button, whatever you have set up, perform a special move while still holding that button. Your shadow will repeat that move on your behalf. This is seriously powerful if timed right, but heads up, not all moves are compatible and not all characters can shadow assist with every move. So you have to experiment and practice a little bit more. Used it right, you'll overwhelm your opponents with a tag team beatdown from your shadow twin. And finally, my personal favorite module, honestly probably one of the best features ever added in Ikemen GO. It adds a whole new level of strategy, trust me it does. Introducing Active Tag. Active Tag, like I said, my personal favorite mechanic, you can able to swap your catches in real time, mid-combo, mid-movement, or even during pressure. It keeps the fight dynamic and it lets you set up a creative tag combos or escape a tough spot where you cannot able to survive as long as you can. Like I said, this adds a whole new layer of strategy. It's very flashy, it's very fast, and it feels so, let me tell you, so satisfying when you pull it off. And that's pretty much it. Use these 4 modules as your advantage, where every single title is a huge gain, and I mean huge gain for your skill to absolutely destroy your opponent. And thanks to WATC and Horse for making these amazing modules. Without them, the feel of enthusiasm, pressure and heart racing moment will disappear, leaving the game without that striking energy. So use it, take that advantage and lock in to defeat your foe in the most fashionable way. Since we have finished on introducing modules, I'm going to show you how to import custom characters and stages into your Ikemen GO Screenpack, plus how to give them a custom portrait that really makes them pop. So first things first, we need to get some characters into the game before we can work on portraits or stages. Go online and search for any character you want to try in Ikemen GO. For example, I'll be using Kagura from Wikido, which is from the series of Azumanga Daioh. Download it, unzip the folder and drag it into the characters folder in your Ikemen GO directory. Next, go to the data folder and open up select.def file. You can use a notepad or notepad++, totally up to you. Under the character section, look for the first random select entry and replace it with the exact name of your character's folder. Hit save, launch the game, and boom, your new fighter should show up on the character select screen. Now, let's move into customizing that portrait to create a custom portrait for that character. Here's how you do it. First, close the game so we don't have to mess with any files while it's running. Open your preferred art software. For this example, I'll be using Krita as my main program. Set your canvas to 340 x 540 pixels. Make sure it's a portrait orientation. Drag in the character portrait border PNG from the main folder, custom portrait files, PNGs, and character portrait border.png. Add your character art in a separate layer under the border layer, and once you're happy with it, export it as a PNG file and make sure it looks cleaner and centered. To get that new portrait in the game, we'll need to use a tool called Fighter Factory Free. Download the Fighter Factory Free, which is going to be linked in the description, open it and click the Open Project icon. Find your character folder, then open the .dev file inside. Now we're inside in the sprite editor. Look for a picture frame icon. This takes you to the sprite section. On the left side, you'll see a number slider. This helps you to browse through all the sprites. And before we do anything else, click the Save as New Sprite icon, the double floppy disk. Choose Mugen 1.1 format and override the characters.sff file to make sure it's compatible with the custom portrait PNG. Now we will replace the standard portrait with the one that we just made. Keep scrolling through the sprite list until you find group 9000 and index 1. That's the main select screen portrait. Click the replace icon, which is labeled as a red folder, and select your new portrait PNG. Make sure to set the X and the Y axis to 0 and 0. This centers your image properly, and then save your changes. Now go back to the game, launch it, and you should see your awesome new portrait in the character select screen. If something off, don't worry, just go back to the Fighter Factory and make some tweaks. Now we're diving into how to add the custom stage portraits for your Ikemen GO Screenpack, so your stage select screener can look just as clean and stylish as your characters. Let's jump right in. First, we need the stage. Head online and search for any Mugen stage you like. Just make sure it's Ikemen GO compatible as well. Download it, unzip it, and drag the entire stage folder into the stages directly into your Ikemen GO main folder. There should be a dev file and the SFF file together in that stage folder. Next, go into the data folder and open the select.def file. Scroll down to the extra stages section. Type in your stage path like this: stage/yourstage.def. Save the file, launch the game, and when you select the character, you should see the stage name appear underneath on the bottom of your screen. Nice! The stage is working. Now let's give it a custom portrait. In order to do this, we're gonna take a clean screenshot of the stage to use for that portrait. Go into practice mode and load up the stage that you just added. Hide the players by pressing Ctrl plus Alt plus 1 and Ctrl plus Alt plus 2. To hide the live bar by pressing Ctrl plus L, and to take a screenshot by pressing F12, then close the game. The screenshot will be saved in the screenshots folder inside in your main game directory. Check it out and make sure it looks good. Don't worry about any UI elements like a dash cancel or assets shadows. We will crop that out in the next step. Now it's time to turn that screenshot into a stage portrait. Open your art software. I'm using Krita again for example. Set the canvas size to 590 x 540 pixels. Make sure it's a landscape orientation this time. Drag in the folder portrait border image from the main folder, custom portrait files, PNGs, and stage portrait border.png. Drop your screenshot underneath of the border layer and line it up so it looks nice. Once you're happy with how it looks, export it as a PNG. Right, let's put this portrait into the actual stage file using the Fighter Factory Free. Open the Fighter Factory and click on Open Project. Navigate to the stage you downloaded earlier and open the .def file. Once inside, go to the Sprite View tab, which is the picture frame icon, and just like we did with the characters, hit the Save as a New Sprite button and choose the Mugen 1.1 format. Overwrite the .sff file so it supports your portrait. Now we are going to insert the portrait image that you just created. Click the green plus icon to add the new sprite. Choose your portrait PNG and set the group to 9000 and the index to 1. Make sure to select the don't crop the image and then click OK. Make sure to set the X and the Y axis both to 0 and then hit save. One last step. We need to set the scale so your portrait doesn't look too big or small on the screen. This is very important. Click the two people icon, which is the definition tab. Scroll down to the stage info section. Add this line, portrait scale space equals space .25. Save your changes, launch the game, pick your stage, and you should see your custom portrait show up, clean and fitted inside the border. Alright folks, let's wrap this up. Legend of Fighters is officially out and for free for everyone to download and enjoy. Since it's made using the open source Ikemen GO engine, this screen pack was a purely passion project of mine, crafted with love for the Mugen and the Ikemen GO community. I'm not asking for any money in return, just have fun with it, mod it, customize it, do whatever you want. All I ask is if you're planning to release a collection builder for yourself for using this screen pack, a little credit will be mean to a world for me if you're planning to release for the public. Now let's talk about what's coming up next for this screen pack. When I have the time, I'll be dropping a dedicated video showing you how to play the Legend of Fighters online with your friends. Stay tuned for that. I'm also planning to work on making the Linux version working, and yes, I'll also show you how to get it running on the Steam Deck once it's polished and stable. No deadlines for now because I want to make sure that everything is bug free and it's properly tested. I'm going to experiment with the new lifeboat designs for the universal portrait version, so it will look and feel very different from the custom one, which is the disc screen pack that you'll be using. I'll update the progress on my website, so keep an eye out there. Again, I'm not gonna rush it, I'm gonna try to prioritize on quality. Way down the line, I'm planning to make my own stages, characters and music and probably edits for this screen pack, specifically this screen pack. That's gonna be a long-term thing, but it's definitely on the vision board of mine. Use this video tutorial to learn how to add your own characters, stages and portraits for both of them. And if you ever get stuck or have a question, drop a comment. I'm here to help you out. And regarding with the version of the Ikemen GO screen pack, I also will be updating the screen pack's module and the engine version whenever a major update drops for the Ikemen GO. I'm not going to update everything really, I think it's too much for me. Just when there's a big engine upgrade that needs the screen pack update. Keep an eye out on my website so you can always have the latest version. Oh, and I might gonna make a behind scene video one day to show how this whole side project came to life, but that's a story for another time, so not in my list for now. And that's everything for now. Enjoy your brand new screen pack, dive into some epic battles and fight for your side, whether you stand with the angelic purity or the demonic ferocity. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay legendary. I just cringed. Oh my god, I'm never gonna say that again.